Question: what creature at the Greensboro Science Center has the best night vision for seeing things in the dark? No, not him, not there, right here, me. We humans have the best night vision. Now, I know that sounds like a claim that's bold enough to make an owl's eyes get even wider with disbelief, but hear me out. Here's what I mean. Owls can feed their hunger for food because their big eyes let them see and snatch small mice with the faintest flickering starlight. On the other hand, we humans feed our appetite for knowledge because our big brains can build even bigger eyes like this that let us snatch up that same faint starlight. Owls catch their prey by the stars, but humans make the stars themselves our prey, and we've gotten pretty good at catching them. The same sort of things that make an owl's biological eyes so very good at capturing mice by starlight also make our technological eyes great at gathering starlight for its own sake, not for supper, but for science. We've just figured out how to improve on the features to feed our hunger for knowledge of the universe. Now, first, an eye needs a big opening to let in lots of light, and to go with it, it needs a big lens to collect and focus that light. That opening in the human eye is only about 1/4 of an inch across, so it can't really compete with an owl's. But the telescope that we have here at the Science Center has an 11-inch opening, 44 times bigger across than the opening in the human eye. And because of that, it can let in and collect and focus nearly 2,000 times the amount of light our eyes can. Now, owls and humans both collect and focus light with a lens, but a lens, whether it's biological or technological, can only get so big. Since light has to pass through the lens, it can only be supported from around the edges, and at some point, it's just way too heavy to support itself. But big human brains have figured out a better way to build bigger things, mirrors for collecting and focusing the light. Because the light bounces off the mirror rather than passing through it, a mirror can be supported from behind and so get much bigger than any lens could ever be, whether nature designed it or humans. All the biggest telescopes, whether on Earth or up in orbit, use mirrors rather than lenses to collect and focus starlight. Owls must look on us with envy. But there's still a problem. Though the light collected in an eye must be focused onto a surface sensitive to light so that that light can then be sent as an electrical signal onto the brain of an owl or a human. We don't have very sensitive retinas. They're pathetic in comparison to an owl's. Owls have 5 times more sensitivity in every cell in their retina than we do. So anytime a telescope focuses light directly onto a human eye, the light is wasted. And that's why the Science Center scope, like all the bigger ones in the world, don't have anywhere for the human eye to squint into and look. Instead, those scopes focus light on a silicon chip inside a camera, much more sensitive than our eyes to the faint light falling on them. And unlike our biological eyes that only can gather light for a 1/15 of a second before sending the electrical signal on to the brain, the camera can collect light for many seconds or even many minutes before sending the signal to an electronic brain, a computer. The camera sees more than both the owl and we humans. An owl is a hunter. It can use the light of stars coming from, say, the Orion Nebula to find its prey. But we humans are hunters too. We search for answers. We can use the same starlight to ask where stars are born and to ask what kind of cosmic cradle a planet like Earth comes from. And just look. That's the answer. And that is the very image that we have shown our guests on winter nights when they've come to visit us. And when they did and saw that, our guests became the creatures at the Greensboro Science Center with the best night vision for seeing in the dark and all the wonders it contains.